quick update video because some important stuff is happening on both the Democratic and Republican side, as it all in reference to the upcoming elections, of course. So I want to cover two things. Going to talk about these polls real quick. So, I love the polls. And we're going to talk about impeachment. So first things first, since we're already sitting on it. Huge development in the polling. It just happened. I checked a day or two ago. Elizabeth Warren just took the lead over Joe Biden officially on the Real Clear Politics poll average. Now, of course, Biden still, in some of the polls, you'll see Biden still coming out ahead, but Quinnipiac has Warren +3. Somehow, I don't know how these people are running their polls. Politico. Shame on you, Politico, for your dog shit poll. That somehow has Biden up 12. Maybe you're polling the wrong people. Maybe they just polled old people. Who knows? But that poll, judging by the rest of the polls here, I mean the biggest outlier on Warren's side has her up 6, and the rest of them have her about +1, +3. That's fine. Biden +12, you got to redo your, check your algorithms, check your questioning, whatever it is, whoever you're asking. Your poll probably sucks, and that's that. Super interesting, though. So Warren took the lead. I could envision Warren holding on to this lead for the foreseeable future. I don't see Biden retaking this. He's been in a downward spiral for some time now. He has no message. He is a vapid corporatist candidate who raises big money but still can't seem to outraise Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, who are taking just small dollar donations. So he's a bad candidate. He would get slaughtered against Donald Trump. It would be a disaster if he ran. So thank God, it's still super early in the race, but he's already lost his lead to Elizabeth Warren. Very cool, very good. However, am I a fan of Elizabeth Warren? Not really. What just happened recently, Bernie Sanders has kind of been on the downturn for a while now. I wouldn't even say a downturn, maybe just a stagnation. Maybe people are kind of curious about Elizabeth Warren. They're kind of curious what she has to say. Maybe she's a curiosity candidate. So she's gotten this recent bump, this recent surge. People are starting to talk about her. The media is putting her name out there. Oh, let's see what's going on with this candidate. Is she as progressive as Bernie? No. Does she take more corporate money than Bernie? Yes. Does she still take small donations? Yes. But there's still a lot of problems with her, problems that Bernie does not have. But Bernie did end up taking a dip in the polls. His dip was actually starting before he had the heart attack, but the heart attack hasn't helped, especially with the framing being that he's too old to be running for president, that he's too old to be the president, which I think is not a fair argument. It's not a fair shake for him. Don't pay attention to that. It's not fair. If you can govern, it doesn't matter how old you are. If you can do the job, you can do the job. If you're the better candidate, it doesn't matter how old you are. I don't care if you're 98. I don't care if you're the oldest person that ever existed. If you are right on the issues, if you can still push for them, if you can still carry out the duties of the job, that's fine. If you're arguing that, oh, look, he had a heart attack, this is only a sign of things to come, he's on a downward turn, he's not going to be able to fulfill the presidency. If that's how you feel, that's what you really believe, that's fine. I can't tell you otherwise. I can't predict the future any more than you can. I just think that for the time being, he's still fighting. He'll be back out there in a few days. And I hope to see him on the upswing. The way this will shake out, most likely Biden will continue to plummet. Hopefully he'll plummet and then kind of fall past Bernie, and maybe some of his latent support will then fall to Bernie. And I could also see some of the Warren curiosities kind of figuring out that she is not all that progressive, or not as progressive as they would have hoped. And I could also see them turning back towards Bernie. So that's how I kind of see that shaking up. as towards the future. But at the bottom line, great news that Warren's taken the lead. If anything, if she holds on to this lead, we have a decently progressive candidate, and a progressive candidate that, yes, could definitely beat Trump in the general. So that's a good thing. But again, Bernie, in my opinion, would be the best candidate, would be the better option. So that's what I have to say about that. And that's that for that and that.